You want certainty. You crave it like oxygen, checking the news for answers, the weather app for guarantees, reviews before every purchase, horoscopes and personality tests and prediction markets, trying to make the world predictable. And here's the paradox that will rattle your bones. The more you chase certainty, the more anxious you become, because certainty does not exist. It never has, and every hour you spend trying to eliminate uncertainty is an hour fighting a reality that is probabilistic and messy and completely indifferent to your need for guarantees, and the data is everywhere. Anxiety has tripled even as our ability to predict has improved weather a week out. GPS to the minute, medical tests spotting diseases before symptoms, yet we're more worried than ever because prediction only creates the illusion of certainty, and when the illusion shatters, the crash is harder. A study finding that people with high intolerance of uncertainty report far more anxiety and depression even when their lives are objectively stable. The problem not the unknown, but your inability to tolerate it. Your brain's anterior cingulate cortex firing an error signal every time reality diverges from your demands, leaving you in perpetual low-grade alarm because you've asked the world to stop being itself. And the American twist is we've turned certainty into a product, cable news selling you political certainty, financial advisors selling retirement certainty, health gurus selling bodily certainty, self-help selling happiness certainty, all of them trading in a fantasy they cannot deliver, and you keep buying. You buy the 5-step plan that promises to eliminate risk until reality intervenes and you feel betrayed, except you weren't betrayed. You were sold a map of a land that never existed. But here's the quiet reversal that only fully lands the second time you let yourself sit with it. The most resilient, peaceful Americans are not the ones who eliminated uncertainty. They're the ones who learned to embrace it, understanding that uncertainty isn't a problem to be solved, but the condition of being alive, making plans lightly and preparing without obsessing, saying, "I don't know" without shame, discovering the opposite of anxiety isn't certainty. It's trust in your own ability to handle whatever comes, not a guarantee, but a muscle that grows in the gym of the unknown. Let me tell you about Diane, a project manager who planned everything, every minute scheduled and risk-assessed, promoted constantly because nothing ever went wrong. And she was miserable, panic attacks in the shower, and a therapist asked what she was afraid of, and she said that something will go wrong and I won't be able to fix it. And the therapist replied, something will go wrong, that's certain. The only question is whether you'll survive it. And Diane quit therapy and then quit her job. Took a 6-month road trip with no itinerary, nearly had a breakdown the first week, then got a flat tire in rural Montana with no cell service, had to flag a stranger and wait hours for a tow and sleep in a motel that smelled like cigarettes. And she survived, and something cracked open. She stopped checking the weather, stopped planning her route, just drove, and by the end she discovered she could handle surprises. She didn't need a spreadsheet. She needed to trust herself. And she came back and started a business helping other planners learn to let go. Still planning, but leaving blank spaces. Those blank spaces where her life finally began. The American cognitive paradox sits right here. We worship certainty, and that worship makes us fragile. And the only escape is to befriend uncertainty. To know the goal isn't knowing what will happen, but knowing you'll be okay no matter what. Not certainty, but courage, the only guarantee that actually holds. Your brain right now might want to argue you need certainty, that planning is prudent, and planning is prudent, but there's a difference between planning for multiple outcomes and demanding only one. One is flexible and the other brittle. So if something in you just unclenched, if the impulse sparked to send this to someone who can't decide without reading 20 reviews first, that's not about me. It's the recognition that their research isn't preparation but a delay. And sharing that might be the first step into a life that isn't paralyzed by fear. The question from the beginning, why does chasing certainty make us more anxious, has an answer that a second viewing fully reveals. You were never supposed to be certain. You were supposed to be brave. Certainty is a destination that doesn't exist. Bravery is the ability to travel anyway. Now, go do one thing today without knowing how it will turn out. That's an order.